Well, congratulations on your award.
I didn't get it yet.
Yeah, it's tonight, I guess.
No, actually, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
They moved it to tomorrow.
After
Before
Gremlins.
Gremlins, I think.
All right. So, well, you already had a Sitges honor 3 years ago, so Spain loves you. Are we crazy?
Probably. I've only been to Spain 3 times. This is my first time in Madrid. I always have a good time here. It's a beautiful country. The weather happens to be particularly nice this trip. There are only 2 books about me, and one of them is in Spanish and one of them is in French. So naturally, I gravitate toward the people who actually like the work.
I see. Well, unfortunately, the Spanish book hasn't been released yet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
He told me that.
I expected. Which one did you have the most fun?
Gremlins 2. Because I was in complete control and they let me do whatever I wanted. So obviously that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work because it was a hard movie to make, but it was fun going to work every day. It was fun going to work every day on Inner Space because the actors were so much fun.
And there's a lot of chemistry between Dennis Quaid and Martin Short.
That's because instead of doing it the way it would have ordinarily been done, which is that one side would pre-record their dialogue and play it back on the set for the other guy to hear, we had them both there all the time. So they could ad-lib with each other in the scenes. If we were inside the pod with Dennis, Marty was off-screen. And if we were on Marty, then had Dennis off screen, and they had these little things in their ears so they could talk to each other. And so there's a lot of dialogue in the movie that's not in the script because they just would riff.
I see. And in the Express, there is a very curious accent that I think almost nobody noticed. When Roy Picado changed to Martin Shaw character changed to Roy Picado, suddenly in the same shot, it goes the camera goes to the bathroom, and Mariah discover him tied up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was done.
How did you do that?
That was done with a double for Marty.
All right.
No, not a double for Marty. A double for Bob Picardo with the wig.
With the wig, all right.
Right.
And
So.
the hat.
So.
No, it's sorry.
No, he had it's on her, and then we see him at the beginning. Then he goes off camera, and he's replaced by the double. And then he goes around the set into the bathroom, takes off his clothes, gets in the tub, and then when she goes in there, it's him. And the voices are obviously moved around, and it was fun to do. It was hard, but it was terrific.
Yeah. Okay, in your filmography, there are characters that are against technology, mass media, television, and politics. What's the problem, Joe? It's the system.
It's the world I live in, It's the world we all live in, and a lot of it is absurd. And I'm a media kid. I grew up with the television, and we didn't have a television when I was a little kid, but most of the time I spent my time watching TV or going to the movies. I mean, I was like a child of cinema and TV. So obviously that's part of my work, and as I've grown up, the rest of the world has become more media saturated. Not less. I mean, there were 7 channels when I was a kid. Now there's like 300. And what do you want to watch? You'd be lucky if you could find 7 channels you want to watch. Of course, it goes into the work. And by the time I got to Gremlins 2, which is all about the future and technology and what's it going to be like, it's very overt. And we were making fun of cable television stations like the Archery Channel, as if that was like a big joke. I'm sure there's probably 8 archery channels now, It's like you name it, there's a channel. There's the nose-picking channel. I mean, any channel, anything people do, there could be a channel because there's so many channels now.
Yeah, it was like a prophecy, no?
It was very prophetic, and I've done a lot of movies that were kind of prescient and made you think that, oh, is that what it's going to be like? And I did a picture called The Second Civil War for television, which I made in 1997, and every time I go to a festival and they run it, there's something new that's going on in the world that's reflected in that movie. it's almost like the movie hasn't dated at all.
I was going to ask you about that because I consider the newsroom, HBO, the newsroom, like the sequel of the second series.
It is somewhat like it. It is a little bit like it, yeah. But you know, the Second Civil War is not a very well known movie. It's not. It was released theatrically in Europe, but in America it was only run on HBO like for a month, and HBO doesn't recycle their old movies. So you don't, if you don't know about it already, you just don't know it exists.
It's a pity actually.
That's true about a lot of movies.